Hello everyone, thank you for your attendance today. I'm Jean-Pierre Dodel, or JP, Principal Product Manager for Amazon Kendra. Today, I'm going to show you how you can use Amazon Kendra to quickly build an intelligent search application in just a few clicks. But before we dive into it, let's find out first what intelligent search is. As I'm sure many of you have experienced before while searching for information on your own company's internal or external websites, it's really difficult and frustrating when trying to find the right answers to your questions. You see, the challenge starts with the fact that 80% of enterprise content is unstructured. These are your website pages, Office documents, PDFs, wikis, support documentation, etc. And our customers tell us that when using traditional search solutions on the market, there are numerous challenges, including inaccurate keyword search, getting stuck with lengthy and complex implementations, lots of manual tuning, and ongoing maintenance. So how does Amazon Kendra solve these challenges? We simply worked backwards from these customer pain points to address two key areas. The first one is making it easy to find what you're looking for, and for this, we first focused on supporting natural language queries to make it more intuitive for end users to ask their questions. Whether these were simple keyword search or more specific questions like, where's the IT support desk? Then, we focused on building an engine from the ground up that leverages state-of-the-art natural language understanding and machine learning in order to return accurate answers. Here, Kendra combines the power of 3 deep learning models to find those answers with pinpoint accuracy. It uses reading comprehension to extract answers from your content. We like to call those instant answers. Kendra also uses semantic matching to surface any FAQs you may have added, and also includes the most relevant documents for your search. The combination of these 3 techniques delivers a unique search experience that feels more like interacting with an expert rather than clicking through a long list of documents trying to find your answer. Kendra also comes out of the box with broad domain expertise. We pre-trained it on 14 domains, including financial services, healthcare, life sciences, IT, energy, and many others, so that it can deliver high accuracy out of the box, regardless of the domain the content focuses on. And the last important component to help deliver more accurate answers every day is having a built-in mechanism for continuous improvement. Amazon Kendra offers incremental learning out of the box, a feature that allows the service to automatically learn and improve search results over time by capturing user searches, document clicks, and thumbs up and down feedback on the search results page. As users interact with your search application, Amazon Kendra promotes documents to the top to match the collective end user preference. Using this feature is very simple. There is no need for any machine learning expertise. So having addressed the search accuracy challenge with these 4 components, we also focused on making it quick and simple to set up Amazon Kendra. For this objective, we focused on providing key features to accelerate the end-to-end implementation. The service comes with built-in connectors to the most popular data sources such as SharePoint, Salesforce, Confluence, and Amazon S3. Just configure and schedule the connectors in the AWS Kendra console, and you'll have your content ready for searching in a few clicks. And combined with our trusted partners, we offer over 100 connectors in our library. And while you ingest your content using our convenient connectors, Kendra also offers an easy way to enrich your content with metadata, and we'll cover this shortly. Lastly, Kendra also offers a WYSIWYG UI search application builder called Experience Builder that helps customers create fully functional and secure search applications powered by Amazon Kendra using drag-and-drop components for easy customization. And speaking about security, this is our number 1 priority at AWS. All customer data is encrypted in transit and at rest, with optional customer-managed KMS keys for additional flexibility. Amazon Kendra also offers token-based search and AWS SSO integration to filter search results based on user access rights. So what does intelligent search look like? The answer is simple. End users want accurate answers quickly, so they can promptly return to their tasks. So let's compare the traditional search experience on the left, where searching for IT support desk would typically result in getting a long list of documents with questionable accuracy. Users end up spending time retyping their queries, reading titles and snippets, clicking on links until they find an answer. With Amazon Kendra Intelligent Search, you can ask your question more naturally as, "Where is the IT support desk?" And Kendra returns the extracted answer from any document or web page you've indexed. That's what you see in the suggested answer card here. Kendra understood the question and returned first floor, along with the passage where the answer was extracted from for additional context and with a link to the original page. No need to click through documents. You have your answer in under a second and can go back to your work. For customers looking to leverage FAQs, Kendra will also return any high-confidence FAQ matches right under the suggested answer card. Of course, this is a generic search UI, and the Kendra search experience is fully customizable via our APIs, downloadable search widgets, or Experience Builder. Now, let's look more closely at the search results returned by Kendra to connect the dots with the ideas we presented earlier about the types of answers Kendra can return. Of course, aside from supporting natural language queries like this one here, Kendra performs equally well on shorter keyword type queries. For the suggested answer to this query, the instant answer was returned by a reading comprehension model, extracted automatically from an HTML page. Underneath it, we see the FAQ matches returned by our semantic FAQ model, and below that is a list of the most relevant documents, also ranked using our deep learning document ranker. You can also see the thumbs up and down buttons for explicit user feedback that feeds into our incremental learning feature discussed earlier. And speaking of incremental learning and tuning search results, you may be wondering about other ways you can tune Kendra's search relevance. There are two main ways to influence Kendra's search relevance. The first one is incremental learning. It's automatic, out of the box, no machine learning expertise required. It's a great way to keep the search results in tune with user search behavior. The second approach gives customers more curated input in order to boost content based on specific repositories or authors that are more authoritative, or based on how recent the document is. Customers can also add their own custom vocabularies using our custom synonyms feature. Now let's look at how customers are using Kendra today. There are three main use cases. The first one focuses on enterprise search, whether Kendra powers a centralized intranet portal or a more domain-specific application for R&D, compliance, or risk mitigation, perhaps an HR portal, or an IT self-serve help website. The second use case is all about customer service, delivering intelligent search for call center agent assist, self-service virtual agents and chatbots, or powering external website search. The third use case is embedded search, focusing on making it easy for ISVs and SaaS applications to replace their built-in search functionality with Amazon Kendra Intelligent Search for a more effective search experience and improve overall product offering. And to share some details on how specific customers are using Kendra, for 3M, it's all about accelerating material science research. With over 8,000 material scientists and 1,200 new projects every year, 3M needs access to information from prior relevant research, information that's buried in the many patents they hold in their huge knowledge base. By leveraging Amazon Kendra, 3M scientists can ask natural language questions and rely on Kendra's machine learning-powered intelligent search to extract specific relevant information, saving them time digging through documentation and patent information buried in the organization's knowledge bases. 3M Technical Director David Frazee told us, quote, "Amazon Kendra enables faster innovation at 3M, more effective team interactions and collaboration, and allows to accelerate R&D," end quote. Biotechnology company Gilead Sciences wanted to increase staff productivity and streamline internal data management processes by building an enterprise search tool that would be driven by artificial intelligence and machine learning. After successfully building a Kendra-powered search application that unified 9 major corporate content repositories, Gilead has now significantly reduced manual tasks related to data management and made it simpler for its teams to share information across divisions, fueling research, experimentation, and pharmaceutical breakthroughs. Jeremy Zhang, Director of Data Science and Knowledge Management at Gilead, told us, quote, Using Amazon Kendra is a big efficiency gain, and it reduces the number of places that people need to go to find the right information. Magellan Rx Management is a next-generation, full-service pharmacy benefit manager that moves beyond basic services to help customers and members solve complex pharmacy challenges. They were challenged to manage large volumes of complex and changing healthcare information as it served its customers and members. They chose Amazon Kendra to build a secure and scalable agent assist solution, making it easier for agents to find the information they needed and empower them to serve customers more effectively and efficiently. Brian Lisley, Senior Director of Software Engineering at Magellan, told us, quote, "Since implementing Amazon Kendra, early results show an average reduction in call times of about 9 to 15 seconds, which saves over 4,000 hours on over 2.2 million calls per calendar year." So to sum it up, what's the value proposition for intelligent search? Customers can increase employee productivity and customer satisfaction. Being able to access the right information faster provides time and cost savings, in addition to helping mitigate risks related to using the wrong information or none at all when making decisions. The second benefit is that the total cost of ownership is actually lower with Amazon Kendra. When you think about everything it takes to build an effective search solution, Amazon Kendra removes most of the heavy lifting and complexity so that customers can focus on the business objectives and stay nimble. Amazon Kendra provides the following out of the box: machine learning powered search service, fully managed, no clusters or servers to manage, no machine learning expertise required, easily connect to popular content repositories like Amazon S3, SharePoint, Salesforce, and so on through native connectors, no complex ETL jobs to develop and maintain. Create search applications in a few clicks with Experience Builder, no coding required. Fully secured via AWS SSO integration. All the above provided out of the box in a convenient and easy-to-use package in the AWS console. So what does it take to get Kendra up and running with your content? It's a simple 3-step process that starts with data ingestion. This is where you identify the repositories you'd like to be able to search over and configure the appropriate Kendra connectors in the Amazon Kendra console in order to fetch the content. We also offer a custom data source connector if you wish to implement your own connector for a special repository. As the content is being fetched from your repositories, Amazon Kendra offers an optional feature called Custom Document Enrichment that allows you to pre-process these documents before they are indexed into Kendra. Let's put a pin on that one for now. I'll cover it in more detail in the next slide. Once the content is indexed in step 2, you can optionally tune Kendra search relevance using synonyms, incremental learning, and manual relevance tuning as discussed earlier. Once you're happy with the search results, step 3 is about deploying Kendra-powered search to your application. You can do this using our APIs, code snippets, or code-free Experience Builder. And as mentioned earlier too, Kendra can be deployed to a wide range of applications, including website search, self-service chatbots, contact center search, and SaaS applications. On the previous slide, I briefly mentioned our custom document enrichment feature that allows customers to enrich their content with additional metadata. This happens during ingestion and works for any native or custom connector in Kendra. So as documents are flowing from the repository and through Kendra's ingestion pipeline, you can pre-process these in order to perform tasks such as OCRing scanned text PDFs using Amazon Textract, or classifying, extracting entities and key phrases using Amazon Comprehend, or use any external service of your choice to augment your documents with additional metadata. This metadata can then be used to organize, tag, filter, boost, or provide additional searchable content on top of the original document. Let's now take a look at Amazon Kendra's Experience Builder, the key feature that makes it simple for customers to quickly deploy fully functional, customizable Kendra search applications. Just create a new search application in the Kendra console, drag and drop the search components you need, like the search box, Kendra answers, filters, sorting, metadata, etc., customize them as needed, configure SSO for secure access, and share the link to the application with your end users for immediate use. With Experience Builder, Amazon Kendra administrators can deploy intelligent search applications powered by Kendra in a few clicks, without any coding or machine learning expertise. We'll demonstrate this feature in action shortly. Amazon Kendra also provides detailed search metrics via its analytics dashboard to help customers better understand their end users' search experience. The dashboard provides key metrics such as top queries, top documents clicked, the search click-through rate, and how often users get 0 results for their queries, which could indicate a potential gap in the content. The purpose of these reports is to provide transparency and actionable information to help customers understand search trends and areas of improvement. The reports can be viewed in console or via an API. Alright, so with these concepts out of the way, let's get to the fun part. In this demo, I'll walk you through the simple steps of getting an intelligent search application up and running with Kendra. And for a quick overview of what we're going to cover here, we're going to index content from 2 different sources. The first one is a subset of documents that's in our AWS Machine Learning blog website. And the second source is a pre-configured data source that's available right there on the Kendra console, so you can play with it later if you want. That second source contains AWS documentation about Kendra and other services. So here we are in the Search console, and the first thing you want to do is create an empty index. That's where you're going to bring in all your searchable content. So we're going to name this one, let's see, sample index. And we're going to skip the description. We're going to leave most of these options default. Here we have to pick a role for this new index, and we're going to let it create the role automatically. And we're going to name this one sample index role. And we're going to leave the rest the same. Click on next. Here we're going to leave also these by default, so no particular user security yet. So we click next, and then we're going to choose the Enterprise edition of Kendra for the purpose of the demo. Click Create. And this is going to create now your index. Great, so now that your index is created, the next step is to actually add data sources to your index. We click on Add Data Source. And here we're going to look for the web crawler connector to crawl our website. And here it is. I click on Add Connector. We're going to give this particular data source a name. Kendra blog site. Leave the rest the same. Default, click next. So here's where I actually add the URL of the website I want to crawl. And I have a specific URL I'm going to put here where the Kendra blogs are posted. So I put that in there and I leave the rest the same, just all default stuff. And here I just make it auto create my role for this particular data source. And I'm going to give that role a name here. Just call it blogs role. Click next. And on the screen, the crawl scope, I'm just going to leave everything also default. Just crawl the host domain only. I'm going to give it, here's some of the advanced options you can optionally use if you want, like define the maximum file size or the minimum links per page, etc. I'm just going to increase the crawl depth to 3 to grab more articles and leave the rest the same, just default. And then this is how often you want to run the connector, but I'm just going to run it on demand, just manually, basically for the purpose of the demo. So run on demand, click next. And this is the final review and create page. Just review that all the settings are accurate. And if everything looks good, you just click on create, and that's creating your data source. So once the data source is created, it tells you up here that the next thing you need to do is just synchronize that data source with your repository to bring in the content and make it searchable. So I just click on sync now, and that's going to start the synchronization process to index the data. Once the synchronization is over, I get a message up here, everything is good. This is my new data source with the content inside. It succeeded, as we see here. It added 2,067 documents. So now that I've added searchable content into my index, why don't we try a search? We can click on Search Index Content, and let's try something here. I'm going to type in this query, what's Kendra? And we can see Kendra brought back, it extracted an answer from a web page in the blog, giving me the definition of Kendra. It's what appears in bold. And down here are all the other documents that are brought back as recommended content. That's great. So my search works here on that first data source. So let's go back to the index, and let's say I wanted to add an additional data source. Let's say this time is AWS documentation that's available as a sample data source in Kendra. I click on Add Data Source, and you can see the sample data source here at the top for the sample AWS documentation. So I just click on Add Dataset, and all I have to do is just give it a name. I'm going to call it AWS Docs Sample, and leave the rest the same. And that's it. I just click on Add Data Source, and it does the rest automatically because it's a pre-configured data source. So after that data source is completed, I can go into my data sources and check what I have there. And I can see my AWS Docs sample data source created as an S3 source. And I can also see my web crawler one for my blogs. They're all there. So now let's do a new search and see what results we get. Let's type in what's Kendra again here. And I can now see the same answer coming back from the blogs, but I can also start seeing here also answers coming from the blog, but also now from a new URL. It's the internal documentation website. And if I open this particular filter, I can also see two data sources here showing for my blog site and my AWS Docs. And I can click on any of these if I wanted to search or filter search results. We can try other searches. Like let's say I wanted to have some information about the Kendra Developer Edition, and I can see Kendra pulls out the right definition of what the Kendra Developer Edition is from a different source now. It's the internal documentation source. And I can use these facets to actually filter search results to a particular data source. Or if I had other metadata, I could do it on author or categories or anything else you decide to augment your documents with. Let's try another search. Let's try Kendra free tier hours to see how many hours come for free with Kendra. And it extracted here 750 hours, predicted that from the unstructured text in that web page as well. So search seems to be working really well without any tuning. But there's this tuning panel that comes up on the side here where you can actually boost search results based on specific criteria. For example, if you have one data source that's more authoritative than another one, you can actually use this simple slider here to increase the relevance of documents from that data source. You can also boost based on document freshness. So you would use a date field, for example, they're created at, and if you wanted to increase the relevance of documents that are more recent, you can increase that slider. You can also do it on numeric values. If you have a view count on your documents by popularity, for example, you can use that number in the metadata to boost search results. Great, so now we're searching across two data sources. One of them is a website, and the other one is the pre-configured AWS Docs documentation. But let's say I wanted to enrich that content, right? What if I wanted to tag each one of the documents that's flowing into Kendra based on which data source it's coming from? As discussed earlier, we can use the custom document enrichment feature to pre-process these documents and add metadata that can be used for filtering or boosting. So let's create our first enrichment rule. Click on Add Document Enrichment. And here we're going to pick the data source that I want to apply this particular rule to. I'm going to start with the blog site. And what I want to say is that any document coming from the blog site, which we could recognize by looking at the source URI or the URL of the document. And the condition for testing is that it contains a particular string, which will be the word blogs. That's part of the URL in every document in the blogs that I've crawled. And then I want to map that or store it in the category field in the index. So I just select the field, and then I select the value that I want to store in that field, because this is what's going to be used by Kendra to surface the facet or the filter. So I'm just going to say store the value blogs, AWS blogs, and then just update that field. And that's my rule. So every document now coming in from the blog's website is going to be tagged with that particular AWS blogs string value stored in the category field. All right, let's click next. And these are optional capabilities that allow you to actually call external lambdas to do more customized document processing, like OCRing PDF documents using Amazon Textract or extracting entities with Amazon Comprehend. But we'll leave those more advanced features for a different video. All we need to do here is just add the permission for this particular rule. We're going to call it CDE blogs for custom document enrichment blogs. This is the review, and that's it. I just click on add, and it created that rule for document enrichment. Now let's create another rule for the other data source so we can tag content from there as well. I'm now going to pick the AWS Docs sample documentation. I'm going to go for the source URI again because it's a different URL pattern. I'm going to do a similar rule when the URL contains a particular keyword. It's just S3 because they're stored in S3, US-West2. And I'm going to, if that condition is true, I'm going to store in the category field, which would be AWS Docs, and just update that field. Every document coming from that data source will now have that new tag associated with it. These are all the other optional components, the optional functionality. I can just skip that. Just need to create a new role for this rule, give it a name. Let's call this one CDE Docs. Review, and just click on Add Document Enrichment, and that creates my second rule. And now I can see both of my enrichment rules created here at the bottom. Once for the blog site, once for the AWS Docs sample. Now what we need to do is basically synchronize the two data sources that I have so that as they pull the content into the index, those rules will apply to the documents and the new metadata will be assigned to them. So I just select each data source and I just click on Sync Now. Once completed, the documents should now have the new metadata associated to them in the index, stored in the category field. Before we go test our search, we need to enable this new field where we store the metadata called category. We need to enable it as a facet, and a facet is just a filter that will show up in the interface. So I enable it here, click Save, and now let's try searching. I'm going to type in my same query as before. What's Kendra? All right, I can see the same answer. Let's expand the filter menu here on the left. I can see the data source that I had before, but now I see my new facet called category and the facet values that are coming back from the documents from both data sources. So the tagging worked, and I can filter now based on those tag values. And as mentioned earlier, Kendra also has a deep learning FAQ matching model. So let's say we wanted to add an FAQ. Let's try it out with the sample FAQ that comes with Kendra in the console. I just click on Add Sample FAQ. I just give it a name here, My FAQ. I can leave the rest of the settings the same. It's a CSV file that contains questions and answers. I click on Add, and that's it. I now have some sample FAQs that are added to my index that are about Kendra. So let's try a new search with the new FAQs. Let's try to look for information on Kendra connectors. Just type in my search. I can see a passage with relevant information about what they are, and I see my FAQ matches here coming from Kendra now. I can expand each FAQ to get the curated answer, and I'm displaying the top highest confidence answers here for the FAQ matches. And underneath this, we can see the matched documents. We also talked about importing your own synonyms earlier. We can look at the synonyms section here in Kendra, and we can see that you can import your own custom synonyms by clicking on the Add Thesaurus button. And here's where you would add the name for your thesaurus. You can consult the format of the file that you need to provide in order for Kendra to load the synonyms. And all you would do is just drop the file in an S3 bucket, so that Kendra can go pick it up, and just click Add. Now let's look at the Experience Builder. Now that you've actually tested all your searches in the console, you're ready to actually deploy a Kendra search application to your end users. So you would come to the Experiences section, and let's create a new experience clicking on the Create Experience button. Here, I'm going to give my new application a name. Let's just call it Sample Experience. And I'm going to choose the data sources I want in scope for this application. So I'm just going to choose the two data sources that I created here, the blog site and the AWS Docs sample. And then I'm just going to ask Kendra to create a role for me. I'm going to call it Experience Role. Click Next. And here, I've actually already configured AWS SSO, and I've added my name in there. So I'm just going to pick myself as the owner of the application and click Next. Here's where I review the parameters and configuration for my experience or my application. All looks good. I'm just going to click on Create Experience. And this creates a new hosted application in the AWS cloud that's secured with AWS SSO, and it'll give you a URL that you can share with your end users. So let's look at the editor now. Let's click on Open in Builder mode. And now it opens a new tab, and it takes me to the Builder mode. We can see that if I click on this particular icon, I see all the building blocks for a search page. I'm just going to type in a question here to see all the widgets that show up on a search results. I type in what's Kendra, and I can see the search box, the Kendra suggested answers box that shows up. I have the FAQ section underneath whenever I have FAQs, the sorting, and the list of documents. Each one of these cards is customizable. This is the filter box, and I can look at the customization options by clicking on the gear icon. And this is where I can actually define which filters I want to expose in that filter menu. And remember that category field we added as a facet? I'm going to add it here so we can expose it in the application. And I'm going to label it source. Save. And now we have a clean facet called source, and I can filter based on any of the two data sources. I can get rid of that FAQ box if I don't need it. And in the builder mode, I have access to the same boosting capabilities that I had in the regular search console. Let's look at some of the other customization features, for example, for the search bar. I can increase the font size. I can change the background text. Let's look at the Kendra suggested answer box, where I can also configure the size of the text here, if I want to include the user feedback buttons or not, and the order in which the fields are going to be displaying the information about the answer. The list of documents is also configurable in a similar way. You can display pagination or user feedback buttons, the order of the fields. And the changes you do in the build mode don't affect your production application until you click on this publish button. If you want to see what your live application looks like, just click on the live view and let's try a new search. We can see the changes that we did to the filter on the left are appearing here now. So once I'm done with my design and my customizations in the build mode, and I'm ready to share the application with other people, I can go back to the console and add additional people as owners or viewers. And viewers are your end users who will access the application to do their searches. You can also add groups of users by clicking on this Assign Group Access button. And when you're done adding users and groups, you can invite them to access the application by sharing the URL that was generated when you created the experience. So as we just saw, creating a standalone search application powered by Kendra is really simple. You start by creating one in the console, you open it up in the builder mode, customize the different components in a few clicks, test it in live view mode, and then share it with your end users through a simple, secure link. So now you know how to create an intelligent search application powered by Amazon Kendra to search over your own content. To summarize, you first create an index, then you add some data sources to make your content searchable, then you design, tune, and share the search experience you want for your end users, all of this without any machine learning or coding expertise. To wrap up our presentation today, I'm going to share a few tips on how you can run a Flash POC on your own data so you can quickly see the power of Kendra Intelligent Search in under 30 minutes. First, pick a use case that aligns with the ones we reviewed earlier, and make sure the content is easy to access. Then add this content into Kendra by using either our website connector or S3 connector if it's easier for you to just drop files in an S3 bucket. Then write down a few questions you'd like to ask Kendra about this content. You can pick a few short queries like health benefits or submitting travel expenses if you're dealing with HR or IT content, and some more precise natural language ones like how to configure VPN, what's HSA, or where is the IT support desk, etc. Then type in the questions in the AWS Kendra Search Console to get a rough idea of the search results and compare those to the search results coming from your existing search solution if you have one. You'll quickly get an idea of the improvements Kendra can bring to your search experience right out of the box. So to get started with Kendra, you can visit the Amazon Kendra page at aws.amazon.com/Kendra. I hope you found this session informative and valuable. Thank you for coming today and hope to see you in a future webinar about Kendra.